All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast. My name is DJ Ligori, and we are on episode number 174. Hope everybody is getting ready for the holiday season. It's wild, kind of ending 2024. It's just like rapid holidays and fun things and activities, and it's probably can be stressful from time to time, especially when it comes to your health, your nutrition, maybe even your finances. There's probably a lot of things that we're all navigating, so I hope we're all doing our best to navigate those waves and spend some time with people that we love, people that we care about. In the end, isn't that what it really is all about? Not to get too sappy, but today I've had this really interesting realization over the last couple of days. I made a post on my Instagram, probably last week, that I played back a bunch, and I was like, man, that's something that I need to work on even more. And I think I've told this story before, but in the post I shared this quick story. And when I was I'm pretty sure it was fifth grade. Remember in the olden days when parents would carpool, and you would have one parent pick up six kids, bring them to soccer practice, football practice, basketball practice, whatever it was. This was basketball practice for me. And one individual who was typically always late, was never on time. And it's funny, a couple of my buddies, when I posted this, they were like, it's definitely this guy. And I was like, it actually wasn't this guy. It's one guy who was typically never on time. We pulled into his driveway to pick him up, and we were waiting for probably 15, 20 minutes. And what ended up happening was we got to the gym that we were having practice at, and we walked in probably maybe 8 to 10 minutes late to the practice, and the practice had already started. And so our coach was this huge guy, absolutely huge guy, one of my best friend's dads. And he was on the end line. He's like, this is absolute bullshit. He's like, I'm going to teach you guys about accountability, right? About showing up on time. And frankly, beyond blessed that he was, edgy enough to put us on the end line, and we just ran. And I think we ran the whole practice. And at the end of the practice, I remember going up to him. I kind of asked to speak to him in the hallway. And I was and I apologized. And I was like, listen, it was my fault. I was like, it was my fault we were late. It won't happen again. And he knew that it wasn't my fault, and he even said, he's like, Deej, I'm very proud of the way you're handling this right now. He's like, I know it wasn't your fault. He's like, but I'm very appreciative of the way you are kind of speaking to me about this right now. And so next practice, we were definitely there on time. We were 10 minutes early, and my coach actually told the guys. He basically said, hey, last practice, here's what Deej told me. And he told me, he's like, he was taking the fall for you guys, right? And I never told my teammates about this stuff. And I realized a super, super valuable lesson that I think all of us can forget from time to time when it comes to either being the victim of your life or being the victor of your life. And we can go around blaming other people. We can blame external circumstances. We can blame the economy. We can blame our genetics, the way that we were raised. There is an endless amount of things that we can blame in our life. And you know what? There's a lot of people who do that. And frankly, I feel sorry for them because they probably live in a world of stress, anxiety, fear, and they're pissed off and angry all the time. The other way that we can live is we can live in a state of I'm the victor of my life. Right? I'm in control of my effort, my attitude, my behavior, even when things don't go the way that I wanted to. Also known as showing up late to practice. And so what I realized from this story was we can either look for who to blame, or we can either look for what to learn. We can look for the things, the places, the people to point the finger at. And I heard this saying once that said, where blame goes, pain flows. And actually, no, it was where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. But I just created that one, where blame goes, pain goes. Where blame goes, pain flows. I like that. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, so if we're blaming someone, sorry, I just got stuck in my own head because that's a really great line. I don't know if anybody's ever said that before. Where blame goes, pain flows, right? So if we start blaming people, we're going to be in pain. All right, because it's things that we can't control. And I've talked multiple times about all the things that we can't control and how if we try to control these things, we end up getting stressed out because we are ultimately getting pulled in different directions and we have no ability to stop it, which is unfortunate. Now, if we decide to take a step back and say, all right, well, what can I learn? All right, what's the lesson here that I can actually extract from this scenario, even though it did not go the way that I wanted to? Imagine that perspective, right? Imagine what you start to look for when you start to ask yourself that question. And so when I asked myself that question, I said, I could have done a better job of realizing that this guy is always late. He's never on time. I'm telling him we're getting there early, and if he isn't in the car by that time, we're leaving. And it's that simple, right? It's a very, very simple way I could have handled that challenge, right? And so I remember for like the rest of the year, I was like, hey, we're getting ready, we'll be at your house at this time. And he's like, practice isn't until this time. And I'm like, well, you're never really on time, so we're gonna get there at this time, right? And it was and I remember getting to this guy's house much earlier for the rest of the year, and we talked. I think our parents even talked, and they're like, hey, like he's got to get ready, and boom, we were never late to practice again, right? And I was still buddies with this guy because he was one of my friends. And so it didn't strain our relationship that I started blaming him that, hey, you're the reason that we're late all the time. So I think this is a very, very important thing when it comes to when we don't get what we want in our lives. Are we the type of person who looks for who to blame or what to blame? Or are we the type of person that looks for what to learn? Because if we look for what to learn, we are ultimately taking responsibility for our actions. Right? We are taking responsibility for, hey, listen, I'm going to learn something from this event and change my behavior, make a mid-course correction moving forward. And I think that is such a powerful way to live. And I don't know if enough people live like that. So think about that in your life, right? Where it might be applicable, especially when it comes to 2025 and we start setting all these goals and they might not turn out exactly the way that we want them to. We can go blame things. We can go blame people. We can go blame all of these external variables, or we can start to actually learn, well, what's going to work, right? How can I win in this scenario? What gift or what opportunity can I extract from this event that didn't necessarily give me the exact result that I wanted? All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope this was a nice little nugget. We had to look for who to blame or what to learn. Send this to your friends who are always blaming everybody for their life and the results that they have, and maybe they can start learning some things as we approach 2025. So thank you guys so much. As always, if you like this episode, rate, review, subscribe. Always super grateful for that. And keep doing hard things both mentally and physically. And we will talk to you guys soon. We'll see you.